There are so many questions buyers and sellers are asking about the South Florida housing market. Well, if you are a seller, you're probably trying to figure out, should I sell my home? But if I do, where am I going, even if I get such a high amount of money for it? And if you are a buyer, it seems so confusing as to the real estate market. These are all really valid thoughts, and the housing numbers will tell you a story. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what is actually happening in the real estate market with updates on pricing, inventory, and sales, and I will address the top 5 questions everyone asks me about the real estate market so that you will have more knowledge before deciding to buy or sell a home in Southeast Florida. So come on and join me. Hi, I'm Maria Wells, your real estate expert on the Treasure Coast of Florida, where I release videos every Tuesday on neighborhoods, real estate information, and so much more. So please hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you don't miss out on any of my videos. So let's get started, because if you've been looking for a while, and I'll bet some of you out there right now have been looking for months. Isn't it frustrating? But not only is it frustrating for you, it's frustrating for the realtors too, because believe me, there is no rest for the weary. We want you to get that house because the only way we make money is to make sure you can buy the house. So first, let me see if I can sort of describe what finding a house in Florida feels like in 2022. Well, remember when you were a kid and you would play musical chairs and there would be all these chairs lined up? Let's say there were 10 and there were 13 kids, and the music would play and you'd run around the chairs, and as soon as the music would stop, everybody would try to get a chair, but there were 3 that didn't get a chair. Well, it's sort of like what the real estate market is right now, except for the fact, let's take it that there's 3 houses, 100 people playing. When the music stops, there's only going to be 3 of you getting a house and 97 are without a house. That's how tough it is. Well, if you feel like you've been playing musical chairs, then let's make sure you're one of the winners, and knowing the real estate numbers will give you an advantage before moving forward with buying and selling. So why is it like this? Well, where I live on the Treasure Coast, our housing numbers were just released, and in Martin County, the numbers are compared year to year. So for instance, we're going to look at February of 2022 and comparing it to February of 2021. You never compare to the previous month, as there are a lot of reasons why that would give you an accurate snapshot of the market. So now listen to this. In comparing the numbers just released in the first quarter of 2022, our sales of single family homes were down almost 20%, while the median price increased by 24%, and the inventory has shrunk to less than a month, which means right now that's 46% less homes to purchase than there were the same time last year. You heard me. Sales are down, prices are up, and there are less homes out there for you to purchase. For the condo and townhouse market, the numbers vary a little bit, but it's pretty much the same story. Now I can look at my neighboring areas, for instance, Port St. Lucie, where sales actually increased 22%, but prices also increased to 27%, and the inventory is low, just like everywhere else. And in Palm Beach, sales were pretty much unchanged, but prices again were up 20%, and inventory is the same sad story. Are you getting the trend? Prices are up to over 20% and inventory is down by at least 40%. That's why it's so difficult for you to secure a home. Inventory is down to less than a month, and that means if no other homes come on the market in that entire month, it would only take 1 month to sell everything that's available. Well, I'm telling you this because time and time again, I explain this to great people who want to move here, and I don't think it sets in until they arrive, because after I go through all of this explanation, they say, well, I want to come to Florida and look at properties. And even after explaining over and over about our inventory, and I remind them again before they make their flights or drive down here, most likely we're not going to be able to see anything, but they still come because it's hard to let this sink in your head until you actually see it. So when they arrive, what do you think happens? Right, there's no homes to really show them. But the good part is we can look at areas and determine what areas might be good for them, so that when a home does come on the market, they're ready to go because they know they love the area. So let's get down to my 5 questions that I'm asked all the time about the real estate market. So number 1, Is the market slowing down? Well, real estate is a slow-moving machine. So until we get more inventory, we're going to continue to see a strong seller's market. The problem is we really need more inventory, and builders can't keep up with the demand for so many reasons, such as the supply chain, high cost of labor, and if you can even find labor to build the homes. Then you have young people coming into the market who want to purchase their first home, and they were pent-up demand even before COVID hit, and they're now really ready to buy their first home. And believe me, most parents want them out of the house too, but there's almost nothing for them to purchase, especially if they're going to finance with either an FHA or a VA loan. This is really devastating. I feel so badly when a home can't be found, and trust me, the rental market is no better. So the answer to this question, is the market slowing down? Well, really, there is no sight of that happening yet, so no. Number 2, will higher interest rates slow the market down? I can tell you what I see out in the market, and that is that there is so much cash, so the interest rate isn't bothering them. You may be asking, well, how is that even possible? Well, many people have sold their homes in another state, and they're coming here with money in their pockets to purchase homes. Now, once they buy a home, they may decide to finance it because they'd like some of that cash back, but they knew they needed to have cash to win the deal, and that's what's hurting so many first-time buyers. So the answer to the question of will the interest rate increases slow down the market? Not at this point in time. So number 3, will the price of homes continue to increase? Well, let me give you an example of what I see in the market. Recently, I've had a few homes to sell in the past few weeks, and every single one of them went way over listed price. And the listed price seemed like a fair number for a seller to receive, and it was on the high side. So I tell my clients that I work with that the prices they see on MLS or Realtor.com or wherever you may be looking is a suggested price. Almost every single home sells over listed price. When someone wants a home, they will come in and make an incredibly high offer to make sure that they get that home. And of course, there's always a concern, will it appraise? And the buyers are willing to say that they'll come to the closing with the additional cash to purchase a home, even if it doesn't appraise. So the answer to will homes continue to increase in price? Yes, but hopefully not at the same increases that we have been seeing. So that is the next question, number 4. If the home doesn't appraise, will that lower the price? So far, that answer is no. I want you to think about that because that is what is hurting the first-time home buyers. Most of them need to finance, and once they save for that hard-earned down payment, they don't have extra cash to come to the closing table if the home doesn't appraise. Well, in case you're not sure how that works, here's an example of what's going on in this market. The bank will only lend you the mortgage amount of the home that you have offered on it. So if an appraisal comes in where you have put a contract in for a home, let's say for $300,000, and you're going to finance $280,000, but the home appraises for $290,000, that means the appraiser didn't find it worth what you put an offer in for that home, leaving you short another $10,000. That means you would need to make up the difference between what you financed and the appraised value from what you offered. So in this example, that would mean that you would need to bring to closing an additional money. So you would be bringing $30,000 versus the $20,000 you were originally going to pay towards your loan. Now, some lenders will work through this and still lend the full amount, but that may not happen. So you need to be prepared in case this happens to you. You're probably asking yourself, well, can't you negotiate or get out of the contract? Well, that depends. And many contracts right now are being written with a clause that states even if the house doesn't appraise, the buyer will come to closing with the difference in cash, and in no way will the low appraisal cancel the contract. So you need to be prepared. If you've had this happen to you, I would love to hear about it because I am seeing so much of this in the market because this can be really scary. The answer to if the home doesn't appraise, will that lower the price of the home? And right now, most of the time, that answer is no. Well, next I hear, which is number 5, I'm going to wait until the market market crashes. It can't keep going like it is. Well, friends, and I think of you as friends because you're on my channel, I want to tell you this is not the market of 2006, 7, or 8. At that time, there was so much free money and everyone was getting a loan and nobody had any skin in the game. Well, now, because most homes have been bought with cash or investors paying cash, they're not walking away from the money like we saw in the past. Now, I do believe the prices will start to stabilize as interest rates go up, but if you've watched my last video, I told you they were going to be quite a few interest rate hikes, and you can see this starting to happen. And in fact, today, as of April of 2022, mortgage rates are at 4.43%. Now, that's still cheap money, but not like it was last year. So to answer the question of waiting till the market crashes, there are no signs of that happening anytime in the near future. Well, typically when interest rates rise, home prices begin to either stay the same or come down a little bit, and we have seen no signs of that yet. But that could happen, maybe something that would happen more towards the end of the year, and I'll keep you posted. So what do you do if you really need a house? Well, there are ways to win that house of your dreams, and if you come with me to watch this next video on how to buy a house remotely, it will give you some great information on what to do. I'll meet you there.